It's hurricane season, and the Pinpoint Weather Team is here for you. Because when the tropics heat up, we stay focused. No hype, no noise. Just a calm, consistent, accurate weather team tracking the hurricane's path with pinpoint Doppler radar. And 3D views bring us inside the storm to help keep you and your family safe. This hurricane season, stay prepared with the new 6 Pinpoint Weather Team and the Hurricane Tracker app. New 6, getting results. Download the free News 6 Pinpoint Weather app now and have our weather team with you.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 4 p.m.
Several developing stories, including Hurricane Beryl making landfall as a Category 4 storm today, shattering records for its power this early in the season. Plus, the opportunity that just opened for homeowners to strengthen their property before the next big storm hits Florida. This is News 6 at 4. I'm Lisa Bell.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ginger Gadsden, along with meteorologist Julie Broughton, standing by with the tropics.
We are keeping a close eye on Beryl as the Category 4 storm pounded the Caribbean. We are getting new video in from the islands, and I'll have more on what's trailing behind it coming up in a moment.
But we begin tonight with former President Donald Trump hailing today's decision by the Supreme Court on presidential immunity. The High Court ruled that former presidents are immune from criminal prosecution for official acts, but not for unofficial acts.
Nicole Skanga is outside the Supreme Court with more. In a social media post, the former president called the decision a big win for our Constitution and democracy. The Office of Special Counsel Jack Smith had no comment. For more perspective on what this means for the upcoming election, we're going to hear from our News 6 political analyst, Dr. Jim Clark. That is coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Now to the dangerous Category 4 hurricane threatening parts of the eastern Caribbean. Hurricane Beryl made landfall near Grenada today, packing winds of 150 miles per hour. You can see the trees whipping. Meantime, new video shows flooding in Barbados. Take a listen.
And now it's Mark 2. The floods are coming in. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine.
That video taken by UNICEF Eastern Caribbean. You can hear the woman there behind the camera saying, we're going to be fine as the storm pushes in. And this is the video from the International Space Station. Warmer water temperatures helping to fuel Beryl from a tropical depression to a major hurricane in a span of just 42 hours, something we do not see in the Atlantic during this time of year typically. Meteorologist Julie Broughton is standing by with where the storm is moving now. Julie?
Yeah, and as you said, this has been one for the history books. This is a powerful storm. We'll get to more on all of the ways it's making history in just a moment. But first, here's the very latest information. We'll get a new track for you coming out at 5 o'clock. But as of 11 o'clock, winds were at 150 miles per hour, a Category 4 storm. It made landfall earlier today in Karayaku. It is continuing to move to the west, northwest at 15 to 20 miles per hour. And so we are talking about just a powerful system out there. It will continue on that track heading toward the Yucatan Peninsula and eventually into the Bay of Campeche. It will stay well south of our area. We're watching another invest behind that does have about a 50% chance of developing further over the next 5 to 7 days. So we're keeping an eye on that. As far as here in Central Florida, we are hot. We are mostly dry, just tracking a few isolated showers. We will have much more on that for you coming up in just a few minutes, but rain chances staying around 50 to 60%. As we head through the rest of the evening hours, we should be mostly dry at 11 with our temperatures back in the low 80s. We will have much more on Beryl, much more on the tropics, and taking a look ahead to our 4th of July forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Julie, thank you. And with the tropics active this early, a potential lifeline is now available for Floridians trying to fortify their homes. The popular state-run program My Safe Florida Home began accepting new applications today that could lead to money in your pocket for storm improvement projects. Emily McLeod is digging into who is eligible and how it works.
Now, applications did go live today, but low-income homeowners ages 60 and up are in that first grant group. We asked Regatta for his clients how long this entire process takes from inspection to reimbursement, and he says somewhere between 60 to 70 days. So even though this program is going live, we're still in hurricane season.
Oh my gosh, but the thing is, hurricane season does go until November, so if we get lucky enough and aren't hit right now, use that time to get stuff done.
To get caught up, to get your supplies, to get prepared, but he says it's, 60, 70 days, which, says is pretty quick.
Yeah. Emily, thank you. All right, to see a link of all the requirements for applying and how applications will be prioritized, head to clickorlando.com. You'll find the story near the top of the homepage.
Preparations are underway at Altamont Springs Cranes Roost Park for this year's Red, White, and Boom fireworks show.
Yeah, it is always the day before July 4th. Thousands are expected to show up. News 6's Ezzy Castro got an up-close look at what to expect. I mean, it's always hot. It's no surprise, but you need to start, Ezzy has a good point, start hydrating yesterday. Well, following Red Hot and Boom, join News 6 as we hit the road to Lake Eola Park this 4th of July. Starting at noon, you can grab some swag, meet our anchors, reporters, and investigators. We'll be at the News 6 tent near the Lake Eola house. We really hope to see you out there, but do hydrate and take care of yourselves. Some cities are looking to cameras to crack down on speeding.
Still ahead, Trooper Steve answers your safety questions when it comes to school zones over the summer. Plus,
pharmacists are sounding the alarm about the historic number of drug shortages nationwide. I'm Skylar Henry in Washington detailing what's being done to fix the problem.
You're watching News 6 at 4, getting results. We will be right back. During the break, we are streaming live on Facebook. Search Lisa Bell News on Facebook right now.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
Story impacts you.
These stories matter not just to us, but to the entire community.
We want to make sure you have everything you need to know, that we answer all of your questions.
Now we're breaking down the whole story, what matters to you, and getting the answers you want.
Because that's what you need to know before you go to bed.
News 6 at 11.
1 hour air conditioning and heating can handle any AC repair. Visit Florida 1 hour.
Well, if you are having a hard time getting your prescription refilled, you are not alone. Pharmacists are sounding the alarm as more than 300 medicines are in short supply right now.
President Biden called on Congress to address the broken drug market while also offering an incentive to hospitals to keep key drugs in stock. CBS's Skylar Henry learned how the shortages can make or break a patient's recovery.
Now, the shortage of a life-saving diabetes drug is a big problem here in Central Florida. Nationwide shortages of Trulicity, Ozempic, and other diabetic drugs have been going on for months due to several factors, including people using the drugs for weight loss. News 6's Darrell Baker met up with an Army veteran from Port Orange who told us his Trulicity medication is on back order with no end in sight.
It's probably 6-7 weeks that I haven't had my shot. I think it's shot once a week. You could see the tremor in my hand and my voice. When your sugar's not stabilized, that's what happens.
This is such a concern for so many people right now. So Together by Renee is an app designed by Dr. Renee Dua with Johns Hopkins Hospital to connect people with prescription drugs when shortages happen. You can find the full story about this at clickorlando.com. I know I've done stories as well with local people trying to find these types of medications
that they
and
need.
It's so hard right now.
They absolutely need. It's not an option. All right, meteorologist Julie Broughton joins us now. And last we saw her, she said she was going to give us an update on our 4th of July, which is it's a weird week because it's toward the end of the week this Thursday. But right now, what's happening? It looks like you got some stuff going on behind you.
Oh, right. I'll tell you to go ahead and start hydrating for the 4th of July. We'll all be out there for fireworks at the fountain. But of course, we are talking tropics. I know a lot of folks have friends and relatives in the Caribbean, so we do want to get you up to date on what's happening with Beryl, a Category 4 hurricane with winds at 150 miles per hour. Our next update comes out at 5 o'clock, and it had an eye wall regeneration cycle earlier today, so we could see some moderate strengthening as it continues moving off to the west-northwest at 20 miles per hour. And this really is just a powerful, devastating system that will move through the Caribbean. An area of high pressure is blocking it to our south, but we are expecting it by the end of the weekend to head toward the Yucatan Peninsula. And this has been one for the history books. This is the easternmost developing hurricane in June and also the strongest June hurricane on record. So we thought it would be definitely a really rough hurricane season, and this does indicate that that is what we're seeing. So here is Beryl in the Caribbean. Here is Invest 96L, well off to their east. The National Hurricane Center is giving it a 50% chance of developing further over the next 7 days. That is something we will be watching very closely for you. Here's what's happening here in our area as we sweep out for you on the radar. We are seeing things actually looking pretty good out there. For those of you up in Marion County, we are seeing some isolated showers. Our west coast sea breeze trying to come inland, so that's sparking a few showers in extreme northern Osceola County up toward the Micanopy area. And where you see the areas of yellow, red, and orange, that's where we're seeing the heaviest rain. And we'll see some more showers developing over the next couple of hours, so really a late start to our rain today. Here's how it looks right now. This is our Daytona Toyota DeLand Kia camera in Daytona Beach. Look at that beautiful blue sky. Lots of folks out there, but check out the temperature. 92 degrees right now. It feels like 102 degrees in Daytona Beach. And that really is the story here locally, is the heat index for us today. Leesburg, you feel like 100 degrees. In the Villages, it feels like 106 right now. Ocala feeling like 104. So we are all talking about heat index readings around 100 to 106, 107 degrees. And that will be the story for us for the next several days. Satellite and radar imagery, a front off to our north. And we do have some drier air that has moved in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. So that has helped to limit our showers and storms for today. But just because we haven't seen them yet, we will see more showers beginning to pop up. Our west coast sea breeze and east coast sea breezes will collide, I think, off to the west of I-4, bringing us a few more showers. Those, for the most part, wind down for us by around 9, 10 o'clock, although we still could squeeze out a few isolated showers as we move through the overnight hours tonight. Otherwise, skies stay partly cloudy, and then for our Tuesday, we do it all again with partly cloudy skies and rain chances at 50 to 60%. Now, here's your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage plans.
Our overnight low tonight falls back to 78 degrees, so a very muggy night. Here's how it looks for us for the next 3 days. 95 tomorrow, 94 on Wednesday. Lisa and Ginger, this is what I was talking about for the 4th of July on Thursday. 94 for our high, but remember, it will feel like the triple digits. We'll be dodging some of those showers in the afternoon hours. That's the same deal through the weekend, but look at our high on Sunday. That's not the heat index. That is our actual temperature.
Oh, no.
Sunday, 98, and Monday, 97. So
wow.
Get ready.
All right. Thanks, Julie. Hey, make sure to download our free News 6 Pinpoint Weather app so you can get personalized weather alerts sent straight to your phone. Just search WKMG in your app store. The first day of school is just weeks away, but those flashing lights at school zones are still flashing.
After the break, Trooper Steve explains why you'll still get a speeding ticket even when students are not in class. You're watching News 6 at 4 on a Monday. Getting results. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
In Orlando, leaders are expected to vote on adding speed cameras outside 25 different school zones across the city. That vote should happen at their next meeting on July 15th.
Just hours ago, a major decision from the Supreme Court could have big implications for the Trump campaign.
Coming up, News 6's political analyst Jim Clark explains what this means to have absolute immunity from prosecution.
Then, all new at 5, the newest update for a Disney resort. A look at the cabins replacing the iconic log cabins and how officials say it adds to the Disney experience. You're watching News 6 on air and online at clickorlando.com. Stay with us.
Time and accuracy are critical when talking about weather. A wrong forecast can ruin a lot more than your day. I know it all boils down to you, your family, and their safety. So when I can pinpoint a storm down to the minute, I know that I have been able to make one of our neighbors' day, maybe even help keep their family safe. Knowing how the weather will affect where you are or where you're going with pinpoint accuracy down to the minute, that's what News 6 can do for you. I'm meteorologist Jonathan Kegas on News 6.
Discover the magic of color at Crayola Experience, Orlando's most colorful hands-on family.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 4:30.
From your drive home to your neighborhood, nearly 200 new laws go into effect today, changing the way we live and operate. What you need to know.
But first, a dune renourishment project nearly 14 years in the making in Flagler County is now underway. The Army Corps of Engineers is dredging sand to restore miles of dunes. I'm Lisa Bell. This is News 6 at 4:30, getting results.
And I'm Ginger Gadsden. We've shown you how even small storms have eaten away at the county's dunes, even knocking sections of A1A out at times. This washout was from April near the county line. News 6's Molly Reed is in Flagler Beach with a look at how this project hopes to stop that.
Our other big story, nearly 200 laws are now in effect today, impacting everything from roads to restaurants, your home, money, and a whole lot more. It's a topic that is generating a lot of attention on clickorlando.com, where we have a full list of all the changes. News 6's Mark Lehman has a quick recap of just some of what you can expect.
Meantime, you now have new safeguards in place if you plan on applying for a home improvement loan. News 6 has exposed the issues surrounding PACE loans in the past. Now, these loans have a large once-a-year payment attached to your property tax bill. It can add more than $1,000 to the bill, and that has caught many people by surprise. One woman we spoke with in Orlando nearly lost her home because she was not able to pay it. On Friday, Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill that now puts new safeguards in place. Among other things, it requires banks to make sure homeowners understand how they will be paying this loan back. The new safeguards go into effect today. And you can read all about the laws that go into effect today with an easy-to-follow breakdown of the specific changes. You can find it all at clickorlando.com. It's right under top stories.
Our coverage continues now. The U.S. Supreme Court handing down a landmark decision on presidential immunity.
The justices ruled former President Trump has absolute immunity from prosecution for official acts, but no immunity for unofficial acts.
News 6 political analyst Jim Clark joins us now. So, Jim, the court made a distinction between an official and unofficial act. What exactly does that mean? All right. Jim Clark, as always, we appreciate your insights. And you can find remarks from the justices on their rulings and the reaction from former President Donald Trump inside this story at clickorlando.com.
All right, as you know, the 4th of July is just around the corner. It's Thursday, prompting the warning about the dangers of doing fireworks yourself. Now, during today's live stream of Breakfast with Bridget, News 6 morning anchor Bridget Ellison spoke with Assistant Fire Chief Aaron Rhodes from Orlando Fire. He says it's one of the busiest times of the year for fire departments and emergency rooms. He says about 36% of those trips to the ER involve kids under 15 years old.
Even the sparklers can burn at up over 2,000 degrees, which is certainly hot enough to cause some significant burns. Those are the things that we want to try to have our conversations way before we even have our, our day of fun out outside. Letting them know, their kids are smart. We don't give them the credit a lot of times that they should probably get. And if you let them know up front what they can and can't do, then oftentimes they'll abide by that.
Okay, that video is just filled with things not to do, including that person just putting their head in the bucket there. Don't do that. Breakfast with Bridget airs weekdays at 7:30 in the morning on clickorlando.com and WKMG's streaming channel News 6+. And don't bother with your fireworks at home. Who needs that when you can join News 6 as we hit the road to Lake Eola Park this 4th of July? Starting at noon, you can come grab some swag and meet our anchors, reporters, and investigators who will be at the News 6 tent near the Lake Eola House. It's all leading up to the big fireworks show. We really hope to see you there.
Florida has a reputation for having alligators and hurricanes.
But true Floridians know a much bigger menace lies beneath the surface. The science behind the sinkhole that once swallowed a Winter Park car dealership in the Orlando landmark you probably didn't know is actually a giant sinkhole at all. Julie.
We are pinpointing Hurricane Beryl, still a Category 4 storm moving into the Caribbean. We'll let you know the latest on its track and path coming up in just a few minutes. And also, I'll show you who is getting rain right now, and we'll take a look ahead to the 4th of July.
You're watching News 6 at 4:30, getting results. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by your Central Florida Honda dealers. Here's what's going on at clickorlando.com. Spice up your travel with our list of the 10 sexiest cities in America. School zone lights flashing during the summer. Find out if you need to hit the brakes. Uncover the secret spot where you can ride elephants in Central Florida. Plus, it's called the Muse of Discovery, but what is that half-buried woman at Lake Eola? We've got the scoop. All this and more at clickorlando.com. When you're faced with severe weather, stay protected with the new 6 Pinpoint Weather app. Powered by the most experienced weather team in Central Florida. Get severe weather alerts, check what's coming your way with interactive Futurecast, and know when storms are leaving your area down to the minute with our Storm Tracker radar. Keep your family safe with the power of the Pinpoint Weather team at your fingertips. Download the new 6 Pinpoint Weather app now and get results.
Traffic doesn't happen in here. It happens out here and here. I'm traffic safety expert Trooper Steve. And yes, I am a real state trooper. I grew up here. I'm the only traffic expert who's actually investigated crashes, who's patrolled these roads. I know how that traffic is going to affect your morning commute. So if you want real advice from my real experience on your Central Florida roads, you got to start here and you got to watch before you go.
2 families on the verge of losing their homes.
32 years of home issue, and I could have lost it in the blink of an eye.
News 6 stepped in to get results for both of them. After our investigation into issues with PACE loans, a News 6 viewer stepped in and paid one woman's loan in full. And after a quick call from investigator Eric Sandoval, another couple's loan issues were resolved by the lender.
I don't think this ever would have got resolved without you guys helping me.
That's getting results, only on News 6.
I'm meteorologist Julie Broughton. I hope you are having a great Monday. We are keeping an eye on the tropics. Beryl, still a Category 4 hurricane, moving now into the Caribbean with winds at 115 miles per hour. It will continue moving off to the west-northwest, right around 20 miles per hour. So on that track, you can see it will continue with winds at 145 miles per hour by later this evening into tomorrow, and forecast to remain a very strong hurricane as it heads toward the Yucatan Peninsula and eventually back out into the Bay of Campeche. Elsewhere in the tropics, things really beginning to heat up for us. This is not typical for early July, but we are watching Invest 96L well back off to our east. The National Hurricane Center is giving that a 50% chance of further development over the next 7 days. Here's what's happening across Central Florida as we check out the radar for you. Our west coast sea breeze is setting up. That is sparking a few showers for us in areas like Marion County, now back down, moving into Sumter County. The west coast sea breeze continues moving inland, and I do think we'll see a sea breeze collision west of I-4 and over the next couple of hours, but overall I think we'll keep our rain chance coverage fairly low compared to what we've seen lately. Here's how it looks for you right now on our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. 91 degrees. It feels like 100, and that's pretty much the deal everywhere with the heat index around 100 to 105 degrees. Water vapor imagery showing drier air aloft has limited our showers, so as we head through the evening hours, 8 o'clock, 88 degrees, and by 11 o'clock, 81 degrees. Now, here's your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by the Flooring Center.
The heat and scattered showers will be the deal as we head toward our 4th of July holiday. 94 on Thursday, and then look at that by Sunday, up to an afternoon high of 98, feeling like the low 100s.
Julie, thank you. Lake Eola is a defining feature of downtown Orlando, but did you know how Lake Eola was formed? Florida's 4th estate hit the road to get the science behind sinkholes. Such an alarmist, as usual.
I'm looking at that map, though, right now. There's a lot right around the station.
I think we are on one. That lake behind us is possibly a sinkhole. All right, News 6 at 5 is up next.
Yeah, anchor Matt Austin is in the studio with what's ahead.
Watch
Matt.
your step, ladies. Hey, it's a big week for holiday travel, and as the crowds inside the airport start to grow, so do the lines outside. Coming up next at 5, anchor Eric Von Eycken revisiting an issue we've been covering from the start, traffic jams when it comes to rideshare pickups, the latest on his investigation.